And I'm live yet again. Testing, testing. How's the audio? How's the video? Live streaming begins at noon. It is 11:59. Seconds away. Sitting here patiently waiting for the seconds to go by. And it's now noontime. August 4th, Saturday, 2018. It's almost unbelievable. 2019 is a stone's throw away. Then 2020. What will the future bring? Well, maybe that's what we're going to talk about on this live streaming event on this Saturday. Continuation of what I have been discussing. Listening to what these channelers, famous personalities, people, psychics, mediums, have to say by channeling some kind of entities behind the veil in the invisible realm. Heaven or Hades? You decide. So let's see here. We got 2 people watching. How are you all today? Leela says hello. Hello. Okay, so the chat room is working. My audio is working. The video is working. So I'll get to work. So as I have shown previously, I collect a lot of information. This book is on channeling. Started it in 2017. And it's thick of all these little tabs are different channelers, different material. Some of it very old. Channeling's been going on quite a while. Some of it's kind of current, and I've been reading, this will be the 3rd day in a row, discussing some of what these entities are saying through some of these channelers, these personalities, that you can go on YouTube and watch some of the videos, and I encourage it. But you must use a discerning mind. As I've been saying all along, you can't believe everything you hear and see. You have to use a discerning mind. What is the modus operandi? What's the purpose? What are they saying? What are they threatening? What kind of propaganda are we all hearing and seeing? What are the politicians doing? What's going on with the war in Syria? The coming online of the 5G high-frequency gigahertz microwaves, the same frequencies they use at the airport to scan your body and see inside of you. FYI. So what can they do? Why are they doing it? Obviously, it's going to be harmful if you do any research at all. It's already harmful. So the channeler I was focused on since yesterday is Dillon. My phone pinged. Dillon. And here are some of the videos. I'll show you the sheet I printed out from the internet. Channeled Messages, Council of Love. So at first instinct, you're going to go, well, that's nice. It's the Council of Love. But maybe not. So you just search on YouTube, Dillon, Dillon. And here are some of the titles on some of the videos you will see. And again, just relax, watch a couple videos, take some notes, look for common denominators, like I've been doing. And this one says, the end of this realm of existence. The end of this realm of existence. Well, that's fairly significant, do you think? On our Saturday conference call, Universal Mother Mary, Jesus' mother, said to us, this is my request of each and every one of you, I suspect it says here. Universal law, the operating system for Nova Earth and Nova beings. The Magdalene, apparently Jesus' girlfriend or wife, she has a video that says, be prepared to proceed alone. And then you got Jesus 2017 Easter message, set a place for me. So a message from Jesus via channeler Linda Dillon, set a place for me. You can't make this up. You can look it up. Our beloved Yeshua, I call it Jesus. I come this day to invite you to your resurrection. All right, more here with Saint Germain with fabulous update. So people will go online and listen to this and buy it hook, line, and sinker. Just in time, good stuff. Archangel Michael on the source of power and authority. Cooperation comes before love. Cooperation comes before love. On today's Saturday conference call, our beloved Archangel Gabriella steps forward to talk about a boring subject, cooperation. Saint Germain, love and converse with your body daily. All right, here we got more. Gila of Neptune returns with an update of living in unity, in community, and cohabitation. Wow, that sounds like communism and socialism in disguise. The fulfillment of your heart's desire is right now. Archangel Michael on the source of power and authority. Magdalene, again, Jesus' girlfriend or wife, speaks of loving your body and yourself. Another one, we come in peace. So this is on the counciloflove.com website. You can find all these videos, or you can just search Linda Dillon, D-I-L-L-O-N, on YouTube and watch some of the videos. Make up your own mind. But please use a discerning mind. Realize there's a purpose to all this. Benevolent, malevolent. You decide. Magdalene celebrates love. And when anybody tells me all this stuff about love and we love you and you're so happy you're succeeding and doing so good and you're wonderful and all this, I get a little suspicious. For my lifetime being in business for 30 years almost, I was always weary of those people who were your best friend at first sight. And later on I learned it was quite true. My phone pinging a message. Sorry. All right. Archangel Michael speaks of purity in all forms. Divine Mother, take up your divine authority. Magdalene celebrates love. You are ready for your grand passion. I am in love with you. This week, Saturday call, Archangel Gabriella shares herself, her essence with us. I would like this to be reciprocal. Giela of Neptune returns to speak of the intergalactic language. So what I did is I've been watching a couple videos and taking some notes, which I'll read just 2 pages. This is a Mario Gottalinda channel. Archangel Michael celebrate July 26, 2018, recently. My beloved friends, celebrate the beauty, embrace the beauty, be the beauty. Earthbound Star's soul shares another gem from his reading with Linda on June 26, 2018. Archangel Michael, greetings. I am Michael. EBSS, greetings, AAM. Welcome, beloved brother. I come as Archangel of Peace, warrior of love, bringer of news. No, I do not call you back to the battlefront, or you are, as you are on indefinite leave. I mean, how many times do people handwrite anymore? So my handwriting sometimes is a little illegible to me, but I can read it. As you are on indefinite leave for the work you do in your home, your state, your body, and your area is plenty. We have taken you, and you have taken yourself to explore and to situate, to discover the beauty of heart, the expression of beauty, of love, of creativity and form. And this is fascinating. You and what you are seeing and feeling. So that was with the Archangel Michael going through Linda Dillon. And then there was another one she was doing here with Mary Magdalene. And she calls herself Jesus' wife. Greetings, Brother Rick. I am Dave. Leela says it's a little creepy. Well, I think we need to listen to this stuff because there's a plethora of it out there. And I see the counts of people viewing these videos and thumbs up. It tops anything else I'm seeing. I look at David Icke videos, Alex Jones, InfoWars, my videos, other people's. Corey says, what do you know about quantum computing? Well, we know what quantum physics are. You think the computers are going to interact with the invisible realm? Let me read here from Mary Magdalene via Linda Dillon, video I've been watching, taking some notes. April 18th, 2017. Be prepared to proceed alone. And at these videos I've been watching, they're in a computer woman's voice. It's not a regular voice like me speaking here. And I'm real, see? Not a holographic image, maybe what they do these days on the news. How technically advanced are they? And Lila says CERN. CERN is probably involved with quantum physics, quantum computing. Apparently electromagnetic energies, opening up portals to another dimension. Seems like the evidence points that way. All right, let's see what Mary Magdalene is saying through Linda Dillon here. Recently, my beloved, and the entire council for that matter, have been saying to you, prepare for what lies ahead. Stay the course. Listen to who you are. And now I add to that by saying, be prepared to proceed alone. Not lonely, not rejected, but the truth and the night and the Netherlands and the humility. Have the strength and the stamina, because this journey does require stamina. The same as mine did. So this was the situation where Jesus was crucified. Linda Dillon channel for the Council of Love Susan Maruska, greetings. I am the Magdalena. Greetings, welcome. Susie, welcome to you. Welcome to each and every one of you. And yes, I am asked to come this day and at this time to speak to you about proceeding alone. And I have asked very specifically that it will be at this time following the death and the resurrection of my beloved Joshua, however you say it, I say it Jesus. No, I do not intend to be morose or melancholy, or to invite you into shared grief. Paying attention to my comments here. When I have heard your comments to sweet Susan, and I have a need to also share, when there were those who betrayed and murdered my husband, so Magdalena's calling Jesus her husband, I was angry. Now, even though from the very beginning, Jesus and I knew what lay ahead, and we made our choice and our decisions to proceed, not alone, individually, yes, enjoined, yes, in sacred union, but we made that decision because really for us, and I would suggest for anyone, where there is love, where there is truly sacred union, whether it is with a friend or a mother or a child or a beloved partner, what other choice is there? So you can go watch the videos with Linda Dillon and see these for yourself in their entirety. But remember, use discernment. These entities that are talking through people, remember the common denominators. So that's all I'm going to do on that. Should just get our minds going. What are these entities speaking through all these mediums and all these books published for quite a while? I can show you some of the titles here. Zeta Talk, Jane Roberts, Cryon, Mr. Cecil Cook, Norman, Jay-Z Knight, Natalie Gleason. So you can look up Ascended Masters, Helena Blavatsky, Channeling, Survive. You can look up channeling and get yourself a notebook like that and start compiling some data, listening to some videos, and make up your own mind. It seems to be hugely popular. And if you look around your environment, your city parks, streets, school systems, children, how they dress, what's on TV, you got to scratch your head and say, it is a little odd. Especially if you grew up when I did. At my age, when I was a teenager, they had something called hippies. And I was probably one of them, with the long hair, and hanging out with my friends, booze, farm wine, and people smoking herb. And of course, back then, a lot of people were doing drugs, speed, acid. And I was in the Army for 3 years, and it was quite bizarre. Gotta say, it was an interesting time to grow up, and I've had an interesting life with opportunities. And it seems to me the world is changing, and I'm a little concerned that the future generations won't have the quality of life I had. So I was watching this other video following the topic, what we just heard from the two beings channeling through Linda Dillon with those messages. And this video I was watching this morning was quite interesting. Dizdar, we are tracking satanic super soldiers in all U.S. cities. I've been following this topic for quite a while, and I do suggest people go watch this video with a discerning mind. We are tracking satanic super soldiers all over the U.S. The Josh Tolley Show. The work the Germans did in the 30s and 40s created a soldier race that is now hiding in every American city and town, including yours. Now remember, Hitler and his associates, generals, professors, people, were into these mystery religion or secret cults like the Thule Society, Vril Society, apparently communicating, so they say, with beings maybe interdimensionally, or beings in the North Pole under the Earth, or beings in the South Pole, the Antarctic, in the Earth. So before the Great Flood, did some people escape the surface and go elsewhere? Just curious questions. All right, a couple comments here on this. We are tracking satanic super soldiers in all U.S. cities. So apparently from childhood, a lot of children are raised and mind-controlled under some very unusual and torturous circumstances, using techniques. And I've been continuing to read this book, Dianetics, on how the mind works and how a person can get programmed. And we're all programmed to a degree with one kind of engram. It's like a little software program in your mind, or another. All of us have many of them of different sorts. We get them at childhood and throughout our life. Whenever we come across a stressful or a traumatic situation, our brain has a defense mechanism and it shuts down. But all that information is recorded into a small file in your brain using computer language to explain it. So whenever those particular pieces of evidence about the environment reoccur again, it triggers that memory, sort of blacks people out again, and they go back through the traumatic experience. So the brain has a way of shutting down the system and recording that event and trying to put it in a secret vault. But every time the certain smell or certain action or certain voice or a certain word occurs, it triggers that engram again. In other words, you can have these secret programs in the mind. And then you look at this tracking satanic super soldiers. So apparently, watching that video, there are millions and millions of pre-programmed people into the satanic cults. And they don't know it, of course. But you can see them on your city streets. You can see them lining up, maybe some of them or all of them, at tattoo parlors, getting daggers and demons and other things tattooed, and the way they dress. Something has gripped them, and they reject words like normal, and they get hateful when you mention God or Christianity. They're programmed. And if you watch cartoons, you can clearly see the programming. So here's a couple comments. When I was in the military during the 90s, I had almost quarterly blood draws and DNA sampling over a few years. I have not pre-read these comments. I did ask why so many once and was told that my medical records kept getting lost. Either they were the most incompetent people or something else was going on. What do you think? So this guy's in the military, and they were drawing his blood regularly. This guy says, just thought I would share, concerned citizen. Michael says, not all those so changed were in agreement, and they can be delivered by the blood of Jesus. Those demonic spirits are very foul and even scary to those without Christ or unfamiliar with such malevolence. Their hatred is incomparable, and humanity does not know what it is they are messing with. Like I said, I did not pre-read these comments. And sometimes that's the better way to do it. I get to see what it says in an unbiased way. Yep, they are zombies, set to take over as soon as they collapse society. So if you've been listening to the messages with these Palladians and other entities I've been reading this is the third day, they keep talking about a huge change coming about in our reality, our world, a paradigm shift. Whether they call it ascension or whatever, you can start to see the common denominators. Walking Dead will look like a picnic. So then there's some videos over here. I'm sure if you go on YouTube, they recommend videos to you too. And the top one says, Russ Distar, Rise of Super Soldiers. So what they're talking about is all these people that are, not all of the people that are anti-Christian, but a lot of people seem to be mind controlled to some degree. And it's almost like an invisible army, and they call it a word, satanic super soldiers. And many of these people probably don't know what and why they're doing it. But they're triggerable. Real Catholic exorcist tells his tales and gives warning. You can go look up these videos. Barbara Marciniak. It's a secret conference. 10 ways to fool the authorities and escape martial law. Satanic priest for Bohemian Grove blows whistle on White House and names. Josh Tolley. Former government liaison reveals chilling New World Order plan for America's near future. Weird stuff I've seen as a Marine. The Art of Dreaming. The Arcturians. Who are they? Dr. Suzanne Lai interview. Base is 25. Aaron Rosenchild at a Super Soldier Summit. Big Bear Lake is dying. I listen to Mr. Fullerton often enough on the Fullerton Informer. Big Bear Lake is dying. We're having this situation all over the planet, as a lot of people know. David Wilcock leaving Gaia over Luciferian agenda. And the Palladian Teachings by Wendy Kennedy, Multidimensional Consciousness. So these are all these things I've been talking about. Another comment or two just to see what people are saying. So what do you think? This is what other people are saying and thinking. Walking Dead is predictive programming. That's what Dave says. And I agree. A lot of the TV programming like Gotham or Lucifer or Modern Family, even Seinfeld and 2.5 Men, Jerry or Charlie sleeping with a different girl almost every show. It was normalizing something that 20 or 30 years ago that people would have thought somebody was a rat for doing that. There were names for that. All right. Okay, another one here. Dawn says, all that is hidden will be made known. The rule is they have to tell us what's coming before they do it. They do it with the media. It's done with numerology. That seems to be one of the rules of these satanic, spiritual, fallen angels, whatever you want to call them, universal galactic law. They have to tell us and warn us and give us the freedom to make a choice before they do things. I'm sure you've heard that like I have many times over. One guy says, Jenny says, wow. From looking at this video, we are tracking satanic super soldiers all over the U.S. cities. So apparently a lot of people are showing up at these different clinics and hospitals or psychiatrist's office, or people are taking them there. And the evidence is showing up that they're all part of some organized plan to have these people mind controlled, and they call it satanic super soldiers. Don't be afraid of evil. Make evil afraid of you. It does say in the Bible, God says, he who seeks refuge in me, I shall be thy shield. So think about that if you're wondering what to do, is put your faith and trust in God. Obviously, these are satanic symbols. We see it in daily on Emmys and Grammys and Super Bowl halftime shows with Madonna, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Katy Perry, Emmys, Grammys, Olympic openings, Lady Gaga in that one. And they're in the songs and the lyrics and so much more. I've gone over this over and over, and I wouldn't believe it myself except for the fact I have been researching for so many years, and it seems to be a common denominator. In the Bible, I made videos, series 72, in my series Freemasonry and Satanism. I'm halfway through the New Testament, reading directly from that material and adding my comments, and it does seem to match with everything else. Edgar Casey's material, and so much more. I'm up to 209 in my series, 500 videos on Freemasonry and Satanism, and a lot of people will say that every single video I made is insightful. And you know why it's insightful? It's because it's the truth. It's contrary to what they're trying to make people believe is reality. Is there a list of those laws? I can't conceive that people willing to adhere to such an evil agenda would follow any code of conduct. Is it written that they must reveal their plans? Well, you can look it up. I will take a stab at it. I've read it numerous times and watched videos about it. And I've got a lot of Helena Blavatsky's material, The Secret Doctrine, ISIS Unveiled, and so many other books. So apparently there are some rules to the game with apparently the satanic control and influence over the planet. After all, there must be some rules. We are spiritual beings in these biological bodies. And a lot of people will say that we came here knowing full well what was lying ahead for us. So, is there a purpose? Is it part of what Edgar Casey calls soul growth? Is it some kind of school system? You know, you live 70, 80, 90, 100 years to find out just who you are? Do some people get a limited time and have to leave the planet early and die? Only the good die young, they say. All right. Ariel says, I am now very close with friends with a woman who has been the victim of these satanic rituals. It is very much true and scary. It's unreal how close you can actually be to evil and not realize it until it's far too late. She does intend to have a tattoo of a butterfly on her left ankle. Weirdly enough, she's saying this in this comment. Now, she is a very strong believer in Jesus Christ and has faith that not a lot of. Read more. Rose says, protect yourself with God's armor. Read Ephesians in the Bible every day. Ephesians. Put on the armor of God. So if they want to destroy Christianity and they want to have people not believe in Jesus or not believe in God, or even in the Muslims' religion and other religions, according to Series 23 in my series, Aleister Crowley, The Book of the Law. That's one book you can go look up if you want to find out what's written in the law. Series 23, Aleister Crowley, who changed the name of the spelling, has changed the spelling of his name so that numerology it would equal 666, the mark of the beast. So I appreciate you people leaving the comments. That's what this is intended to be, my videos, is a conversation for people to be able to discuss these topics and have an opinion. I don't want to convince everybody that I'm right or I'm wrong or blame anybody. It's been an eye-opening for me. All right. I'm reading another comment here. Johanna says, if you are tracking, then add my name to your list, my adopted birth name, and she puts that down there. I don't know why she's doing all that. So anyways, on that video, they were talking about the book that this particular author just published. So, and the websites associated with it. So I went and looked into that material. And it's called The Black Awakening. These people who have been investigating these satanic super soldiers, millions of people in every community in our country and likely all over the world, like a hidden secret army for whenever they pull the trigger for these things that these channelers are talking about. This huge event. So they are connected. But anyways, it's called The Black Awakening, theblackawakening.com. theblackawakening.com on the bottom there. The book, The Black Awakening, I think it's like $25. But apparently this guy's been working on this particular subject since 1980s. In this twilight of human history, darkness burns its black flame. Soon it will all erupt and fear will fly as the bloodshed begins. Even in the Bible it says, don't have fear when these events happen. So apparently you're supposed to be aware that they're going to happen and stand back and watch the anarchy and chaos like you're viewing outside the situation. Like you're in a building and you're just peering out the window. Fear is not going to do you any good. Knowing that it's going to happen, it's prophesied to happen. All these channelers are talking about it, and all these books and all these people and all these whistleblowers and insiders. So what can we do? What should we do? So I guess faith is a huge key. Belief is a huge key. Trust is a huge key. As it says in the New Testament, Jesus says, those who believe in me shall be saved. So that's it. And that's why Martin Luther, hundreds of years ago, had a big falling out with the Catholic Church, who said that the Pope was the only voice from God, and you had to pay money and do things for the church to be saved. And Martin Luther's waving his arm. He has a copy of the Bible, and he says, wait a minute. It says you just have to believe in Jesus to be saved. So that took away the church's power when people realized they didn't have to cater to the church to be saved in this reality we're living in. That apparently as spiritual beings, we're here to, see who we are and how we react. There's an old saying I learned a long time ago. It doesn't matter much what happens to you. It matters how you react to what happens to you. So remember, we're all here for a short time. And a little bit of faith, as in my life experience has told me, the problems and situations seem to get corrected in our test of my faith, who I should put my trust in. And I'm not trying to be a preacher, that's my life experiences. But reading this, it says the Black Awakening will occur. For them who have served this long cold secret, it has to be, it's the only way to give the world a desperate reason. A willing but painful reason for the need of a new world order, of a leader who will rule with a power that only the ancients felt. The Black Awakening reveals this and so much more. So this guy's advertising for his book. The Rise of a Satanic Super Soldiers and the Coming Chaos. Go watch the videos before you buy the book. The Black Awakening, I'll give you his name. Unlike anything you have ever read, it's coming soon. And that was on the Josh Tolley. We are tracking satanic super soldiers. Josh Tolley. That's the video I was watching. They talked about this website and this book. And apparently he has some other books. Targeting Strategic Prayer, Intercession, Spiritual Warfare. So I suppose, I don't think a machine gun is going to work, or an axe, or a hatchet, or a knife. in defense in this situation. They're using satanic power, spiritual entities. So we have to have our spiritual entity, in my opinion, God, Jesus. If you're Islamic, Mohammed, whatever your Bible teaches, or a Hindu or a Buddha. I'm not trying to convert people. I am saying all religions seem to have similar commandments. I did take a course in humanities in community college, comparative commandments, and it showed even the Iranian and all the religions had similar commandments. Don't kill, and don't steal, and don't do adultery. Why is that all over the world? The different religions and the different prophets, the commandments are the same. It tells me that the spiritual world sent these messages to all these communities, from Peru to the Aborigines, and the people in the north, the Nordics, and Europeans, and Asians, and Eskimos, and American Indians, and Mayans. That's my philosophy on the topic. We are all human beings biologically, white or black or brown or tan, with spiritual souls, and I suspect the spiritual souls of all of us are probably the same flavor or color, however you want to describe a soul. Just me thinking. Satanic Rituals, SRA, and Occult Crimes, the Luciferic Agenda Workbook, Expelling Darkness, the Black Awakening. So just go cruise on the website there. There's a few comments from people. Hi Russ, I received my book, The Black Awakening, today, and am grateful to have received it. Thank you for sending it to me. I also wanted to thank you for the free MP3 course you have given me with this book. God bless you and your generosity. I am praying for you and your family and the ministry team. God bless you for what you do. So a lot of positive comments, a lot of links on this website. So I believe in looking at lots of things. So anyways, I was also looking on YouTube, as I normally do, check and see what's recommended. If I get bored for a minute, I got to watch another video. And it's just so interesting to see what they're recommending for me to watch. So, you know, they kind of know what we're into and feed us what we need. Can you see how that works for people who are into the channeled material? The computers that are all hooked up together and monitoring everything we do. Talk about a lawnmower and your desire to buy one, and you'll see a commercial on your computer. Go search for some bird feed, you'll see bird feed commercials on your computer. Talk about something on your cell phone, you'll see commercials on your computer. People are noticing this all the time. So they can feed the need, whatever they can get people hooked into. It just more comes at them. So that's where you have to have discernment and think. You have to see this coming. And it's hard to wake up to this. You talk to people who don't have a clue, and they'll totally reject everything you're saying. You can point up the intense dumping of chemicals in the sky, which they are doing here in the mountains of North Carolina today. I took a video. And some people won't even tilt up their head. Subconsciously, they probably know, but consciously, like the mind control, they just want to not see it. It's painful for them to wake up. That's mind control. When it's painful to wake up. So anyway, some of the videos that were recommended for me to watch. The first 5G rollout in California causing brain damage to firefighters. You see that picture? They're putting those antennas up everywhere. And apparently this video is saying they're causing brain damage to firefighters. A plaintruth.info. Protect your kidneys. Here's Alex Jones pointing a gun at the screen. The Fullerton Informer. What's going on with Alex Jones? Here we have the most shocking example of Agenda 21. They are taking over all of our communities. Make no doubt about it. Look up Agenda 21. They're they're changing laws. They're annexing properties. They even have a law in some areas where you can't burn wood in a wood stove. This was the world's best kept secret until this video. They just said aliens are a real threat. The ozone scam, the Fullerton Informer. Government mind control technology is real, live. America about to suffer a fatal blow. These facts, Lisa Haven. Everything you're not being told about the Cali and Greek fires. We got fires all over the world. People know that. You are not prepared. No one sees why the hidden secret or why most. Anonymous America Blackout. Are you prepared? Warren Buffett sounds the alarm. Economic Insider. Everyone must know this before it is deleted. And everything you're not being told about the Cali and Greek fires. So some of these, to me, are propaganda. I'm not a big fan of this Dr. Sean Frost. Some of it's meant to just create a lot of confusion. But again, the discerning mind, the fact is, whether it's the channeled material, these videos, the stuff in the newspapers, I showed a half page in the Sunday edition of the Citizen Times in the city where I live, was saying humans were to blame for global warming. And in the meantime, they've been dumping chemicals in the sky. Since I woke up, 2005, I've been taking pictures or videoing it a few years later when the cameras developed that technology. So I have all these pictures on CD disc, documented every week, every month, every year since 2005. Leela says it makes me feel isolated when trying to talk to people about these things. Yeah, I guess you could say the statistics I understand is 85% of the people are unaware of anything I'm talking about. Maybe 15% of the people are awake to some degree. That is a terrible statistic. But they've been programming us with the TVs and cartoons and school systems. Everything they said they were going to do in the 1920s and 30s with congressional hearings in the United States with the communists, who said that they were going to do all this. And a communist is derivative of the secret societies who control our world and are probably setting up or using Israel to be the Jewish utopia, trying to fulfill some kind of prophecy for them, to rebuild yet again King Solomon's temple that was destroyed twice, and the Jews were dispersed twice, first by the Babylonians about 2,600 years ago, 2,600 years ago, 600 years before Jesus' birth, plus or minus there, and then 30 or 40 or 70 years after Jesus' birth, King Solomon's temple was destroyed again and the Jews were dispersed. So what's going on right now with President Donald Trump recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and all those pictures I've shown of the Freemasons having models of King Solomon's temple, apparently dealing with some kind of being that was in the Ark of the Covenant, the glowing light on top of Mount Zion, speaking to Moses, and performing all those miracles. So what is this witchcraft science they're aware of and that they've been using, like somebody said earlier, quantum computing and CERN and the 5G network and HARP, H-A-R-P transmitters strategically located in Alaska, Hawaii, Norway, all over the world, and a big V pattern. And if you know anything about Project Montauk, I've talked about it before, or MK Ultra. But at the end of Long Island was Montauk Air Force Base, a small town called Montauk, near an Air Force base called Old Fort, I believe. And they were abducting young boys from Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, and using electronics to create vortexes, time tunnels, and putting the children through there. Also practicing and testing programs with mind control on these kids. This was alive and well after World War II, when they captured those German scientists and brought them to the United States under Project Paperclip, and continued that Vril Thule Society research where they got all the technologies for these saucers and rockets they were doing. That all was brought to the United States, and there has been a secret government behind our government continuing forward with the Hitlerian program, which was not Hitler's. He was financed by New York banksters, including the Bush family, who were accused of assisting the enemies, and many other elite names brought Hitler to power. So they were controlling the whole thing like a puppet master from the beginning. They were controlling the USA money supply since 1913, brought us World War I 6 months later. And I could go on and on and on. You could just go watch my videos, over 500 of them, 700 hours, and you will see all of the evidence over and over and over again. Took all that work for me to convince myself. Preppers and survivalists will die. Palladians reveal secret truth of Donald Trump. Well, the Palladians are talking about Donald Trump. Preppers and survivalists will die. Palladians reveal secret truth of Donald Trump. Moving out of California. Volcano alert, something strange. Rocket smacked the firmament, explain flat Earth. There's all kinds of topics out there. David Icke, July 12th, 2018. Full alert. So David Icke just put out a video that says full alert. You see the common denominator I'm talking about with all those entities channeling through the Palladians, all those channelers? Something big is about to happen. It's a lonely uphill road, Dave says. And Layla says, Leela, for sure. V2K, Rick 2. What does V2K mean? Do lasers confirmed again. DEW, lasers. House chopped in half. Do lasers confirmed again. So are they using laser technologies? 5G is a sterilization and eugenics program. Why is the world legalizing marijuana all at the same time? Exclusive interview with fire captain on origins of California fires. Video after banning Alex Jones. The left calls for Fox banning probably. These are just some titles I'm looking at. Alex Jones update on what is going on. Paul Joseph Watson about the news, foreign and domestic. Mind control, false news. Steve Penziak about Facebook and the Twitter going. And Jerome Corsell live stream Friday, August the 3rd. Plan to burn up Northern California disclosed. They've been doing this every year for a while. Controlling the weather, causing droughts, so it seems. Countdown to destruction. Deborah Travaris. StopTheCrime.net. Burned out of Northern California fire victim. StopTheCrime.net. Death by soda. The Fullerton Informer. Don't be drinking soda. Drink water. Drink iced tea. Drink well water. Don't drink city tap water. Get a filter. This is my advice. Don't drink processed foods. Get fresh vegetables. Wash them. And my doctor said I had a potential diabetes coming on. Call it diabetes 2. And I did some research. Processed food does not process well in your body. That's what diabetes is. Your body no longer processes the sugars and other things, processed flour, wheats. And you can gain weight because it doesn't get processed. And all of a sudden it messes with your blood flow in your feet and your eyes and your body. Diabetes. I cured it myself largely by staying away from 3 things: bread, white rice, and pasta. And they're all made similar materials. But white rice really takes your sugar through the roof, and it's probably all kinds of chemicals in it, how they grow it in such quantities. But the bread was the big thing for me, and the pasta. And as soon as I stopped those 3 things and started using fresh vegetables and all that, I lost 10 or 12, 13 pounds. And my sugar count, I got that little meter. You can go buy it for about $30 and buy some tabs. And if you're about 120, 130, 98, 140, you're probably okay. But if you don't have the money, you can't afford to see a doctor, and you're feeling kind of weak and ill, go buy the $30 meter, get the tabs. And if you are 240 or 250 or 190 or something, stop the bread, the pasta, and the white rice, and sugars, cakes, sodas. Eat healthy, and you'll be able to see yourself correct a potential serious problem that you could spend thousands of dollars in the medical institutions and get nowhere. And you can do it yourself so simply. And I'm not a doctor. If you have a concern, see a doctor. But get educated by all things. Stay away from the garbage food. Cook at home and cook vegetables. I've been eating a lot of root vegetables I didn't even know existed. They have beets that are not red. They got kind of a white beet. And they got these different things other than potatoes, rutabaga and stuff like that. And you can mash them up just like potatoes. And string beans and regular beans. But stay away from the garbage. I'm telling you, it's killing you. All right, I got a couple seconds to go here. Florida's red tide cause. Bear Lake dying, we read that earlier. The arrest of the Pope by the Fullerton Informer. So if you don't believe these things are real, start paying attention to some of the artwork. I got some pictures. We'll eat up a few minutes here to get my 1-hour live streaming event over. But you can find these pictures everywhere. Go look up satanic symbols. Notice the eyes, like the eye on the dollar bill, the red globe, the sun's rays. This is all part of this cult. The bird, the globe above the head, it's the same symbol for ISIS. I talked about Nazis and the Thule Society and Vril Society and these people into things with the quantum computers, as somebody mentioned earlier, and CERN and interdimensional beings and satanic super soldiers. There is a plan. You don't want to believe it? That's up to you. But you can go find all the serpent symbols you want. I believe that's a Rothschild's shield. These are the crest of these families with the dragon. Apparently there was a can of Coca-Cola with the dragons on it. Pictures in the Bible. The brazen serpent. What are these people into? Sinister Serpent. You get the card games, Illuminati card games, and other games. People are being mind controlled. Sinister Serpent. The Serpent and the Rainbow. Rainbow Coalition. You got to pay attention to these symbols and go look them up. A Harvard scientist's astonishing journey into the secret society of the Haitian voodoo, zombies, and magic. Wade Davis. The Serpent and the Rainbow. The information's out there if you want to see it. But remember, if you're programmed, you're going to resist seeing it. If you've been watching those cartoons and you believe those little characters and the things they're saying, if you've been watching your kids' cartoons, you know it's mind control. They use sentences and they say things as if they're fact. People get mind controlled sitting there watching cartoons. How many people have those little TVs in their cars or their SUVs and their kids are plopped down in front of the TV for years being mind controlled? Go watch some of the cartoons yourself, and if you're looking, you'll see it. Faith No More. Look at this pretty little picture. Faith No More. May 14th, Webster Hall, New York City. Faith No More. What do you think that does to the mind? You're susceptible, you're 12 years old, you see this. Maybe your parents are stressed, divorced, drinking, fighting. Then they get this. You see how mind control works? The T means divine. Notice the Hebrew Jewish symbols on this cross. And the circle on top means serpent. There is a serpent on there. I didn't go make these pictures. Look up divine serpent on Yahoo image site. The T means divine. The circle on top means serpent. And there is a serpent on this one. Doesn't take a genius to have to interpret this one. You don't need to be Sherlock Holmes. Divine serpent. And remember, President Donald Trump just announced the United States recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. And they have the divine serpent. I've gone over a lot of books on the Jewish utopia. A book written, The Ultimate World Order, by retired Robert Williams, a retired USA intelligence officer. Obviously a smart guy. He writes the book, The Ultimate World Order, because he discovers a book in a Texas library where only selected people could check out and read, called The Jewish Utopia. The Trail of the Serpent. All these things I'm talking about. 666. Signs, stars, and 666. And the serpent embracing the earth. So believe what you want. Gray aliens, reptilians, get it? Reptilians. The Palladians being channeled by all Linda Dillon and the other ones I've gone over so far, Barbara Marciniak, etc. The last two videos before this one, August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th have been on the channeled material. And I'm going to continue watching some videos and bringing different kinds of books on channeling. Some of them written 100 years ago. It's not just something that started yesterday. Here's another book. Secret Societies, Gardner's Forbidden Knowledge, Revelation about the Freemasons, Templars, Illuminati, Nazis, and Serpent Cults. That might be a book you want to get. You think? Alfa Romeo, get one of these cars. Look at the symbol. The serpent is eating somebody. Hermetics, Kabbalah, Tree of Life, the two columns like in front of the Freemasonic lodges, Anatomy of an Occultist. I don't make these pictures. The serpent on the bottom, the five-pointed star, Severity and Mercy, the chalice, the sword, the winged globe on the top. Does that say Hanukkah? So what do you think? All-seeing eye on the dollar bill. Who controls America, do you think? With the pyramid, the all-seeing eye. The serpent religion. The people who are anti-Christian. And this is nothing new. If you go read the Freemasonic books, they were anti-Christian 200 years ago when John Quincy Adams was president. They used to have two political parties in the United States. The Mason Party and the Anti-Mason Party. And guess what? The Anti-Mason Party were Christians. The Mason Party, all the symbols in rebuilding King Solomon's temple, were Jewish. And not all Jewish people. A lot of Jewish people did not convert from believing in God and God's Word, Orthodox Jews, but the Reformed Jews who switched over to the serpent religion, the Kabbalah, magic, witchcraft, for power, control, and sexual perversions and money and everything else. It's as simple as that. But make no bones about it, the divine serpent, spiritual entity, seems to be behind the scenes controlling this, and people are out there standing in line. They get skulls and bones and serpents tattooed onto their bodies. Do you think there's anything such as mind control? There's your Freemason symbol. I don't make these pictures. I just go on Yahoo image site, download them and copy them so I can make videos. There you go, people getting into the mouth of the serpent. Ancient pictures. It's some kind of hybrid human beings with 4 heads. Nothing about this is new. Ancient cults. Germany being into the Vril Society. Ancient circles. Thule Society. Rosicrucian Society. Freemasons, Illuminati. Now you know who all these groups are. They have groups that control our world. Council of Foreign Relations, Heritage Foundation. So many more. The Club of Rome, Knights of Malta, Knights of Columbus, Knights of the Garter, the Royal Family of Britain, the Zionist organizations, and a satanic super soldier army, a whole lot of people out there pre-programmed, ready to go into battle when they are triggered. So it seems. A lot of people get the symbols, wear them every day. Bellstar says, don't get me started on tattoos. Most of them are evil images. Why do you think they get them? Why do you think think it's cool? Why do some people say, keep my town weird? And why, when I went to get a haircut once, and the guy said, how do you want your haircut? I said, how about normal? I got a business appointment tomorrow. This guy screamed and said there was no such thing as normal. And he was obviously gay. The other barbershop I went to said he was also. He appeared and talked like he was gay, which maybe there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying he screamed that there was no such thing as normal. Again, people are mind controlled. If you go read this book and many others and learn how the mind works, you can see, like a computer, what goes in comes out. Good information in, good information comes out. Garbage in, garbage out. When the guy when he screamed there was no such thing as normal, I got up, I didn't get a haircut. I ran. The symbolic winged serpent of the goddess Merkasa or Merkaskai. So what are we dealing with? Is there a spiritual world? Are we spiritual being? As like the Bible says, are there fallen angels? The symbols all over the world. Are these evil forces in control? The Lord's Prayer says, lead me not into temptation and deliver me from evil. Why do you suppose it says that? The Lord's Prayer, lead me not into temptation and deliver me from evil. Because we are all tempted every day. And sometimes we succumb to that temptation. Then we are in evil. And the Lord's Prayer says, in the second part of what I just said, deliver me from evil. So if you get caught up in it, you can get out. Look up, talk to God, and say the Lord's Prayer and mean it. And again, I'm not a religious scholar or teacher. I'm trying to figure out WTH, what the heck is going on? And this seems to be where the path is leading me. Well, thank you for watching this Saturday's live streaming event. And thank you for your comments. Rick Miracle reporting.